Just a quick review of the 5 minutes pain-free Pilates arthritis exercise for seniors. Basically, the book's divided up into two main chapters. Although if you look at the table of contents, it has a chapter 1 and a chapter 3. So I guess it's a typo. I didn't really go from 1 to 2, or 1 to 3. Didn't really find a 2. Anyway, I'll go over each one briefly just to let you know what's in the book. Basically, the first chapter covers Pilates exercises for knee pain and stiffness. Talks about what is Pilates, how it can help you with your knee. Second section is getting started with your Pilates, routines for arthritic seniors. Goes over some of the equipment you'll need. Then it goes into exercise routines, and there's 9 exercises listed. At the end, talks about adapting Pilates for specific arthritis conditions or types. In other words, like tailoring your Pilates if you have knee osteoarthritis, or modifying an exercise if you have rheumatoid arthritis. And talks a little bit about gout. So yeah, I think if you're a senior and you're having trouble with arthritis, and Pilates sounds like something you want to try, I think this is a good place to start. Another thing I want to add, if you have problems with knee arthritis in particular, there's one other resource I can bring up. Treat Your Own Knee Arthritis by Jim Johnson PT. Book's been out a while, still getting great reviews. Basically, it's aimed at improving function. The value in that is, and this is a very evidence-based book, quotes a lot of research, so it's just based on published studies. Most interesting, I like the way it frames knee arthritis. So it says, your knee is not really like a tire with, the treads wore out, that's it for your knee, it's shot. That's not really the way it works. Draws attention to studies where they take, like, say, 100 people and they x-ray their knees. And they grade everybody's knee arthritis. Well, you would think the people with the worst knee arthritis would be hurting the worst. Well, that's actually not what happens. Actually, there's people walking around with really, really bad knee arthritis, like grade 3 or 4, that don't have any pain. And then you have people with grade 1 or 2 arthritis that are in a lot of pain. So there really is no relationship, believe it or not, between what your knee looks like on x-ray, how much cartilage you have left, and how bad you're hurting. I mean, that's just the plain facts. I mean, read the book. It quotes a lot of studies. And that's what the preponderance of the research says, not just like 1 or 2 stray studies. Now, if you want to find out who's hurting, what do you need to look at? Well, if the x-rays doesn't tell you too much, how much cartilage they left, let's look at function. So then he goes through all the studies where you look at how the knee is functioning. Oh, now we see a correlation between pain and function. So in other words, the people that have the worst knee function, like say knee isn't very strong, it isn't very flexible, now we're seeing a correlation between how bad you're hurting. Really doesn't have that much really to do necessarily with your x-ray. So here again, treating function is the way you get around all this. Forget about how your knee looks like on an x-ray and what you've been told. Bone on bone, hey, people with bone on bone that aren't even hurting. Why? Because their function is so good. So that's what this book does. It aims on improving your function. And has these little tune-ups to improve your function, like how to make your knee much stronger, how to make it more flexible, improve the proprioception. A lot of people don't know this, but actually, if a lot of people with knee arthritis have decreased proprioception or position sense, something you really need to address. How to improve your knee endurance. Anyway, program's very evidence-based. Take you about 10 minutes or less to do. Some days only a couple minutes because you just do stretching. So having problems with knee arthritis in particular, that's a good resource for you. But if you want some gentle exercise to get started, I think Pilates is a great place to go. So yeah, check it out.